All right, we're going to go through a few of the senses in the sensory and perception systems. We'll start with somesthesis, which is the body's sense of touch, which is broken down into three different systems. First, we talk about the skin. The skin, which is actually the largest organ in the body, keeps bodily fluids in and keeps germs out. And our ability to sense with the skin various temperatures, senses of pain, different area, being able to sense where within the body a stimuli is being received, is all part of the skin sensory system. You may have, as a kid, had someone try to run their finger up your hand and then say stop, and you're pretty accurate in being able to know where they stopped. But if you run a finger along the back, it's a little bit harder to know where the person is stopping, because the senses are different in different areas of the skin. Next, we talk about the kinesthetic sense. The kinesthetic sense is knowing how your body is moving without visually observing it. So it's this internal sense of awareness of movement of my body. I'm not looking at my feet when I'm walking, but yet I know where they're moving. I'm not visually looking at my hands right now as they're moving, but I have a sense kinesthetically where they are. So holds true for various parts of the body, the mouth, the eyes, and all of the rest of the body has this kinesthetic sense. We also have a vestibular sense, which basically keeps the body's balance system in check, and it gives me my sense of balance. So when I am perhaps spinning around in circles, I might throw off my vestibular sense. When I'm walking on a balancing beam, I'm challenging my vestibular sense. Riding a bicycle, playing any sports activity will all call into attention, as you were, the vestibular sense. So these are three of the body's soma or somesthesis sensory systems. Now, moving more specifically into parts of the body, the nose produces the olfactory sense. And this part of the sensory system is unique in that while all other information travels, let's say from the eye or the ears, travels first into a relay station in the brain and then over to the higher levels, the olfactory system goes through its own, what's called the olfactory bulb. And the olfactory bulb then has a direct connection to the amygdala. And if you recall, the amygdala is one of the emotional seats in the brain, the one that responds and helps us process emotions like anger and fear and frustration or excitement. So information is traveled through the olfactory bulb, through the amygdala, and then over to the hippocampus, which relates to memory and as well as emotions. And in this way, there's almost a near direct line between the smell sense and memory. This helps explain why many people have a strong memory response when they smell food or a perfume or a cologne. And more so, this sense triggers memory than other senses do. Moving forward to the sense of taste, referred to as gustation or the gustatory sense of the body. The gustatory sense of the body is an interplay between the tongue and the nerves, the millions of nerve endings that may stem from the tongue, and as well as relating to the nostrils and the nose as well. The gustatory sense isn't just there to help us process smells, but it is also there to contribute to our nutritional processes and understanding what to take in, when are we satiated, when are we full, perhaps when food is noxious for us or poisonous. When you drink spoiled milk, how is it that we know that it's spoiled? Think about that strong smell and the strong taste that you experience when you have a spoiled beverage, and that is due to the gustatory system. We have 5 main types of taste. We have bitter, sweet, salty, sour, and savory, otherwise known as umami. So these are the 5 main types of taste that the taste buds and the gustatory system communicate to our brain and help us understand how to react to the environment and to the foods that we're eating through this system. Moving on, we mentioned the vestibular system. The vestibular system provides sensory information that pertains, as we said earlier, to motion and equilibrium, and more than that, to spatial awareness. So being able to know that, for example, I have a podium in front of me with my iPad that I'm using for this presentation. So I have a sense of where this is without even looking at it because of my vestibular system. Now, the vestibular system is a very interesting one because it's based on information that is processed from the ear. And within the ear, in these semicircular canals within the ear, there is a liquid. And this liquid in the ear moves around. And it is through this movement of this liquid and the interaction with gravity and movement both in linear and horizontal fashion that my brain processes where my body is at relative to gravity and relative to other objects within my sensory environment. If you think about it, it also helps us when we're playing a sport to keep, they say, keep your eyes on a target. Even if my head is moving around, I can still stay focused on the target that's in front of me, which at this point may be you, or you're keeping your eyes on me. Even if I move around or you move around, the vestibular system helps us keep all of this in check. It's quite an amazing system, quite intricate, and for the purposes of our CLEP exam, I've gone over the basics of it, and of course I encourage you to refer back to your print materials to help you drill down some of the finer details. All right, we'll see you at the next module.